It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is IndyCar night on iRacing. Hello and good evening, everyone, wherever you might be. I am Gary Gotza, and welcome to P1's Broadcasting signature presentation of Round 10, Week 10 of Season 2 of 2025 of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split, coming to you from Homestead Miami Speedway, presented by Topia Systems. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Justin Petschauer and Luis Gonzalez Nunez. Gentlemen, welcome to Homestead. Nighttime is the right time for IndyCar racing, as qualifications are currently underway at the 1.5 mile speedway down in the Orange Groves down in Miami. Lewis, what are you seeing out there? All right, well, qualifications are complete. You just saw briefly the weather conditions, 80 degrees on the track temperature, and actually it just dropped as we're now gridding up to go racing. So I don't expect much in the way of tire deg due to heat on the racetrack. Just really is going to come down to how hard you race your car. We'll get into tonight's starting lineup here momentarily. Go ahead. Okay, well, we'll see here. Something changed in the settings, but there we go.
Okay, can we hear us on the broadcast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Starting 11th, it'll be the man that won the split that I was in the iRacing Indy 500 open set, the boss man, Antonio Estrada. Next to him, it'll be Seb Alexander. 13th, it'll be Rusty Plant. 14th, Jose Pizarro. Correction, there you go. 15th, it'll be Ty McWhirter. I've seen him qualify better here, even in the stock cars, so this is quite uncommon for Ty McWhirter here to qualify this far down in the field. 16th, it'll be Jacob Collins. 17th, it'll be Chris Wetz. 18th, it'll be Stephen Lee. And rounding out the 19-car field, I kind of figured we would have had a bigger field than this, but I guess everybody wants to get those final practice runs and qualifying runs in for the Open iRacing IndyCar Series at Indianapolis. To close out the month of May, it'll be, rounding out the 19-car field, it'll be Art Reimer. That is your 19-car field here for Homestead Under the Lights.
I think it's a small field, but it's really strong, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Big names.
It's a 4.9K. 4.9K on the strength of field.
That's pretty strong.
And while we're at it, while these guys are starting to light up, a little bit of a Season 3 dev blog small discussion here before we go green. Guys, I'm actually looking forward to season 3. There's a lot of stuff coming in, especially with rain racing for the IndyCar here.
No, we're not going to see a lot of that in the Oval Series.
We're going to see it in the IIS, though.
We'll see it in the
Especially on road
IIS.
streets
We'll
with it.
see it in open, yeah, but not very much unless they decide to bring back road courses here for the Oval Series. And then why call it the Oval Series anymore? Getting ready to go green here. Field under the control of Tanner Richards here very shortly. Then Trey Shadid, Josh Ward for Porty, Castro, Aquila. Your first 3 rows. We still have a points championship up in the air for first, second, and third of the Oval Series this season. Here we go. Green flag in the air and right to the bottom of the racetrack. Tanner Richards protecting the bottom.
Tanner Richards was protecting the bottom temporarily, but now he moves back to the middle groove and runs down below on that bottom groove as they come up on turn number 2 to complete lap number 1.
Oh.
Already we've got side-by-side and a number of cars that are trying to find clean air. It's getting really close here in the middle of the pack, right in between 5th and 10th place. Some guys are getting single file, but others are already trying to pinch the guy that they're trying to get past as they go through 1 and 2.
Nice restart of Andre Castro with make a 3 wide and turn 1 and 2 and win the position. Josh Ward went down for 2.
Yeah, Josh Ward is trying to pick his way through the field here, but I'm looking at Tony Pizarro now. He's still running low underneath Matthew Pontos side by side as they go through turns 1 and 2 here. Pizarro using all that clean air to his advantage on the fastest part of the speedway there at the bottom of the groove. Still side by side as they come off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch towards turn number 3.
Ponto sporting that Danny Sullivan Miller American livery that sadly did not qualify for this year's Indy 500. This might be the only time we see it on the racetrack, unless, which I think is going to happen, is that sponsorship ends up on another car. Maybe someone starting from the pole that needs sponsorship.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Miller High Life Danny Sullivan throwback scheme actually go on to Robert Schwartzman there. Still one of the biggest highlights of the weekend, maybe this season so far already. A rookie on pole for the first time since 1983.
Yeah, winning the pole since 83. And another stat that I didn't realize, they were the first rookie team to win the pole since 84. Watching Logan Edwards ripping the top there, getting a pass on Ponto, and he is staying up top.
Don't look down, but here comes Antonio Estrada, the boss man. He had a little bit of contact there, but he's still maintaining that high side using the draft of Seb Alexander in front of him. But don't look now. Look on the bottom here. Here comes Rusty Plant planting his car at the bottom of the speedway. He will get by Antonio Estrada and move up a position.
Rusty Plant, the winner and the vote of Indy Oval Series at Phoenix. He knows how to win on ovals. Is with a pretty good team as well, and he slots in front of Antonio. Behind Antonio is Fazaro, Jose Fazaro.
Already seeing these guys just get single file here. It looks like they might be trying to go into the fuel save strategy, even though it's only a 75 lap race. But depending on what setting you have your engine map on, you can extend the fuel run just a little bit, as we saw here last year when it was in sunset conditions, as I like to call it. But anything can happen here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Hey, Lewis, we talked about this before when we've done races here. This looks like a pretty symmetrical racetrack, meaning that the one end of the racetrack, 1 and 2, looks like 3 and 4, and they should drive the same. But when you and I have both raced here before, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 drive entirely different.
Yeah, at that time, you remember the old Miami when you exit on turn 2, it's like a little bit bumpy or like a little bit change it of the degrees on flat, and you always lose the car over there. But like you said, it's true. You see on the top, it's everything the same. But when you in track, 1 and 2 is like you have to take it from high, and 1 and 3 and 4 is like a middle to going to high. So it's like in 3 and 4 the wall is close, very close. So I've been behind on Clendy, and basically on the exit on 4 the wall is close to him.
Well, even when I competed here in the NIS back in the day, that's apex in the center of 3 and 4. It was a lot sharper than it is in 1 and 2. 1 and 2, it's a roundabout. It's basically a roundabout corner. Whereas with 3 and 4, it has almost like that Milwaukee feel when you go through 3 and 4. Like it has that diamond effect, if you will.
Yeah, and it's kind of it is difficult. Actually, I prefer. Everybody's making a different line, and especially on 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is just high line. If you're going close, it's perfect tires. But if you're going for high and 3 and 4, you're going to the wall, and that's the problem. It's kind of difficult to make. But this really, that's Homestead is before it's flat. I remember I saw the 2000 race, and it was flat, and that's a different thing. But now we have a different thing, and it's really technical track in iRacing.
Well, I like to joke that this racetrack has had more facelifts than a Kardashian. This is on its 3rd different configuration since it originally opened in 1996. It was basically a mini Indy version at 1.5 miles distance. They did away with that, made it a flat paperclip 1.5 mile oval, and then they went back again and added progressive banking in the corners to the configuration that you see today. Indy cars have raced on all 3 of the configurations: the mini Indy, the flat 1.5 miles, and the banked 1.5 miles.
There were a number of reasons why they got rid of the mini Indy configuration. One, it didn't produce good racing in both NASCAR and kart, but also because of the sharp angles of the corners, the outside retaining wall in the corners.
Yeah.
It unfortunately contributed to the loss of Joe Nemechek's brother, John Nemechek, in 1997. And that's when they realized maybe we need to turn this into a true oval, albeit a flat version.
Yeah, it was definitely a very high angle of attack in those corners, and if you lose the car, it was a very bad angle of impact, and wisely rounded the thing out. Watching this battle between McWhirter and Fazaro got pretty tight through there, as McWhirter put a slide job on Fazaro. I don't think Fazaro liked it very much, but McWhirter now up the 14th spot.
Now, McWhirter...
Sorry.
McWhirter took away the air off of Jose Fazaro's nose there, and Fazaro got a little bit of oversteer coming off of turn 2, and he caught it. No, correction, off of turn 4. He caught it, but he lost so much ground, and now he's under attack from Jacob Collins there as they go through 3 and 4 here. Fazaro up on the high side, Collins down on the bottom there. Collins will slot back in to try and get a little bit more momentum going into turns 1 and 2, and now they swap positions there as they go through 1 and 2. Fazaro down at the bottom, Collins in the middle / high line, and here comes Collins now. He's got the runs. They go down the backstretch towards turn number 3, side by side. Who's they going to be going to the turn 3 and 4? Still side by side, not enough. Fazaro loses a little bit. Collins will rush up and side by side. A good battle here. Oh, almost contact there as they head off towards turn number 1.
And Jacob's going to have to reset. He'll stay up high. Fazaro's going to feed him the dirty air up high. And back to the reset. Stephen Lee now stalking Jacob Collins. A little bit further up front for Porty and Logan Edwards side by side. The mailman and Edwards get it sorted off of 4 down the main straight and move Edwards up to 8th. For Porty back to 9th. Edwards up 2 spots. Your biggest gainer of the day is Clendy right now. He is in 3rd. And he is trying to hang on and get some solid points. Last week was not a good week for him as he missed pit road, as we got a battle for 4th going on here between Ward and Castro. Clendy missed pit road at Iowa and pretty much cost him a pretty good finish. Right now he still has a pretty decent lead in the championship, but would like to finish strong. Currently 3rd on the racetrack. Ward up to 4th. Castro back to 5th, and Pizarro now getting into the picture in 6th.
That previous lap as they were going through 1 and 2 there, Castro had a huge run underneath, trying to go underneath Josh Ward. Ward slammed the door shut. and took all that air off the front of Castro's nose.
Doing it there, right there. Wow.
I think this time, though, Castro's going to get a good chance to get by him. There's still wheel-to-wheels. They go through 3 and 4.
I think Castro tried to pin him up against the wall a little bit and not turn in, and there is contact, and we have lost part of a wing, but it is given back. It is forgiven, but you see the contact mark there. Is there damage?
I believe so, because Ward is now losing ground. Here comes Pizarro as they come up a turn 2 here. Down the back straightaway, Pizarro is going to get that position away from Josh Ward.
And Ward actually in the wall that time.
Ward's screaming over the radio. He is not happy with what Andre Castro did, but I think that was a bit of a returning the favor on Josh Ward from Andre Castro about 3 laps ago as they were going through 1 and 2.
Here's Ty on around Josh Ward. So Josh might have to come to pit road sooner rather than later, and the window to kind of get to the end on one stop, or the one stop you need to get to the end, is really kind of open about now. So if Ward wants to come to pit road, maybe get that damaged or nose replaced and get back underway, he maybe minimize the damage that way if he comes to pit road. By the way, we have to enter pit road off of turn 3.
Yeah, it's not like the NASCAR configuration where you can enter off of turn 4. There was a league where we tried that before coming up a turn 4. Let's just say it did not end.
It's not very easy in these cars.
No.
Pizarro and Castro side by side. Pizarro gives the slide job to Castro that time. Castro swaps from the high side to the low side into 3, trying to get the run. Pizarro will have a head of steam on the high side, but unfortunately will not be able to get that position back. Move Castro back up the 4th. Pizarro continues to be in 5th.
Pizarro, though, he's going to try and get that momentum, though, going as they go through 1 and 2 here. Pizarro to the high side. Castro to the middle lane as they come up to turn 2. Here comes Tony. Here comes Tony Pizarro. He's got that huge run going into turn 3. He should be able to clear Andre Castro as they come off of turn number 4 here. He will do that. Move Tony Pizarro back up to 4th for now, but don't look now. Here comes Andre Castro. Pizarro slams the door shut on Andre Castro. Castro almost goes up into the wall there after losing all that air off the front of his nose.
Hey, if you enjoy P1's coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split presented by Topia Systems and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts, including, since we have the ambassador here for the IIS right here in the booth with us this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, the Indy 500K IIS round for Indianapolis coming up this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it.
Already they're still trying to Andre Castro is still trying to mount a charge to get that 4th place back away from Tony Pizarro, but Tony Pizarro knows what he's doing. He's tossing so much dirty air on Andre Castro, no matter where Andre Castro puts his car.
Meanwhile, up front, not to cut you off, but Trey Chadet has ran down T. Rich and is stalking him at the start-finish line. He's going to take a peek underneath him going into turn 1. I don't know if he's going to have the momentum down there to pull that pass off, but he definitely now knows, at least T. Rich does, that he is under direct competition. And if these guys race side by side for too long, Glindy is going to be in the picture very quickly.
Glindy's just sitting there licking his chops, saying, "Come on, boys, just keep doing what you're doing. That way I can get up there and make it a 3-car battle." But back behind him, though, it is still a throwing hand session between Andre Castro and Tony Pizarro. Castro, I can tell, he's getting frustrated riding behind Tony Pizarro. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's also saying, maybe this is a good thing right here, just to save a little bit of fuel to try and stretch out that run before the first pit stop happens.
Oh, Pizarro into the wall. That's going to give the opening to the inside to Castro, and he gets the spot back.
That is not what Tony Pizarro was hoping that would happen, but here comes Pizarro now. He's got the run coming up for turn 2, and whoa, he almost got into the back of Andre Castro there. Pizarro will now get the position back as they go through 3 and 4.
And Josh Ward did come to pit road, I believe. And he is now down a lap.
The only thing Josh Ward is open now, can there be a caution soon?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's good to go to the end. And depending on how much time he lost, he might be able to pick up a number of spots. Just really depends on how much time he lost in the pits and on the racetrack. But he should be good to go to the end. Unfortunately, though, his tires are going to be really worn at the end of this thing.
And it looks like a number of the guys that are up in the top 5, top 10 here are starting to slowly wither off in terms of being as close as they can be. But for now, I'm still seeing a bit of a battle between Rusty Plant and Matthew Ponto as they come off of turn 4 here. Rusty Plant is going to slot back in to probably follow the same. Whoa, never mind. He got the door slammed shut and he got thrown dirty air on the front of his nose there. Rusty Plant not going to be happy about that from Matthew Ponto. But here comes Rusty Plant. He's going to use that draft again as they go off into turn number 3.
Rusty Plant joining us from Vermont, from the Green Mountain State. Not a lot of IndyCar history from Vermont, but Ken Squire is from Vermont, and of course, he's been a big voice in auto racing.
And we miss him very dearly.
A little bit back, we have cooperative teammates, Seb Alexander and Antonio Estrada, working together. This is for 10th and 11th.
Here comes Rusty Plant, though. He sends it to the bottom of the speedway, going through 1 and 2. Washes up just a little bit. Not enough of a chance of a run to come off of turn number 2 to try and get by Matthew Ponto. He's going to try and set him up again with Rusty Plant going to the high side through 3 and 4. And Matthew Ponto running that bottom as they came off of turn number 4.
Big run to the inside,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's going to be able to get this pass pulled off. He probably could slide up and clear him now if he wants to, but the run on the high side is even the odds. They're going to come wheel to wheel off the corner, and the momentum on the high side gives the position back to Ponto as we see a car diving the pit road. That is Logan Edwards.
Yeah, that was Logan Edwards. He's going into pit road here. He's going to be the second one to go to pit road here.
He just goes a little bit past halfway. Meanwhile, up front, Tanner Richards now. We saw that battle as those guys were side by side at one point now. Richards has pulled out to a second lead over Trey Shadid. Real quick, before we do get to the pit stops, here are your series points. I need to show those to you here.
If our system will start working again, because I don't want to have to take a damn wrench to get it working again.
There it is. We got Clindy, your points leader. 2,045 points over 1,894 for T. Rich. Pizarro, he is in third. Quilla in fourth. Josh Ward fifth. Dave Mitchell in sixth. Jacob Collins in seventh. At one point, Quilla was actually in third last week, and Jacob Collins was in fourth last week. So a bad week for that pair. They dropped out of the podium and contention to the podium, so they're trying to claw back into that battle. There you see the remainder of your top 10 and top 20. 2 weeks left to go here in the championship for this season. Next week, we are at Auto Club.
That was a little interesting.
Pizarro exited to the pit and he spun on the exit on the pitway.
Pizarro did?
Pizarro, yes. Surprised they don't have a penalty for that.
Pizarro, not Pizarro. Jose Pizarro, yes.
Yeah, Jose Pizarro, yes.
Seb Alexander, Rusty Plant in, as well as Trace did.
thought Castro had have a penalty for speeding, but he braked pretty good on the entry.
Castro on pit road with our leader. Go ahead.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to get a speeding on pit road penalty here, because the moment that happens, your race is pretty much over.
Can Clindy make any hay with those older tires and clean air in front of him? He has gone a number of laps deeper into this run than those leaders did. Remember, when Clindy does come to pit road, it will be a shorter fill and a quicker stop for Portigo's purple 209.9. Here come Pizarro. This is for position. Both these guys have yet to stop. Pizarro now your new leader by a nose, although Pizarro, I thought maybe he was coming in. He's just giving Clindy a little bit of extra room going into 3. So they are extending this run into lap 47, now 48. Ty Quilla in 3rd. He's at green car just behind them. Antonio Estrada a little ways back, but it looks like the road guys are going long on this stint. Tanner Richards, though, new tires. He goes purple, but Castro goes, I'm going to go purple.
Plenty signal, he's going in, and there he goes to the bottom of the speedway onto the pit entry there. Plenty extending it as best as long as he can. Now the question is, I was about to say, here comes Tony Pizarro. He's just signaled he's going in as well.
Again, very difficult pit entry. You got to come off the racetrack to the flat portion of the race course on the apron. Very slippery down there. If you drop a wheel to the grass, you can forget about it. Then you got to slow down, get to the speed limit before getting to those cones. Ty Quilla coming with them. All-time career wins leaders for IndyCar at this track. Sam Horner, Scott Dixon, Dan Weldon each have 3 wins. In fact, the fastest 300-mile race ever in IndyCar history took place here. Dario Franchitti won that race in 2009, and that was a average speed over 300 miles of 201.4. So in real IndyCar racing, it is actually quite common here when they did race here to see long periods of green flag racing or a complete green flag race.
And of course, that was also the championship round, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. And Antonio Estrada now coming to pit road, but we got to get back to the battle on the race courses now. Clindy is caught Pizarro. Pizarro came out in front of Clindy. Clindy is going to get the pass into the turn, but they are still a ways behind the leaders. Richards, Castro, Shadid are going to cycle to the front once Collins and Estrada come to pit road.
Collins did signal that he's going into pit road, so the recycle will begin here.
Antonio Estrada on pit road. Coming off now. Tanner Richards out to now a pretty hefty lead over Castro, about 2.5 seconds.
Chris Wirtz missed the pit entry.
We're watching Chris Wirtz here. Oh, he is. Go back on to our leader. We'll go through the course here. We'll reset the field for you. If you are enjoying P1's coverage of the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split presented by Topia, and you respect the stream, please do us a big solid. If you're unable to donate to the broadcast, the next best thing you can do is support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. If you're just joining us, this is P1's coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split, coming to you from Homestead, Miami Speedway, presented by Topia Systems, where we've now completed 55 of 75, quickly getting to the end of this race. If you're enjoying our coverage again and would like to support us, please donate to our GoFundMe campaign. The link is in the description. You can also send super chats as well. Let's reset the field. Tanner Richards, your leader. Andre Castro, P2 by 2.4 seconds. Trey Shadid right behind him. That is a direct battle for third. Clindy in fourth. Pizarro in fifth. Tyquilla in sixth. Rusty Plant up 6 spots to seventh now. Ponto in eighth. Logan Edwards in ninth. And Seb Alexander rounds out your top 10. 15 cars on the lead lap. 19 cars took the green flag. And we have been green flagged the entire time. Trying to stay on the lead lap is Jacob Collins right in front of Tanner Richards. He's going to want to fight as hard as possible here. And Richards on by on the bottom.
Now, Tanner Richards is hoping that a caution does not come out, but he'll definitely use the lap down cars as either a pick or as a drafting help to just maybe help with pulling away from Andre Castro there. Andre Castro in the middle of a battle of his own there with Trey Shadid. Trey Shadid caught him big time there. Trey Shadid had to back out a bit as they come off of turn 4. He's going to try and use that draft again on Andre Castro as they go off towards turn number 1.
This is a progressively banked oval, so the bottom lane is banked lower than the higher lane, I guess, if you want to call them lanes, groove.
18 degrees on the bottom, 19 in the middle, and 20 degrees on the top. You can definitely use all 3 lanes here to try and work your way around the car ahead of you there. But if you use that high line there, you're definitely going to burn up more tire there compared to the fast way around on the bottom.
Here's Shadid to the inside of Castro, and he's going to clear him into 3 and 4 and move Trey Shadid now up in the second. Go ahead.
Stephen Lee and Fraporti. I think so. Fraporti kind of holds Stephen Lee. Stephen Lee came fast.
Wow.
Now Stephen Lee make it pass. I think they waving Fraporti in front of Stephen Lee a lap ago. Fraporti do it like a Fraporti do it very well.
Don't look now, but we now have a 3-car battle for third here. Trey Shadid, Andre Castro, and Kyle Clenworth. Clenworth down with the huge run as they come off of turn number 2. Clenworth is going to try and get to the bottom of Andre Castro there. He will use Trey Shadid.
He sends it and gets 2 positions with the slightly fresher tires and then feeds him the dirty air.
But it's not going to be enough now as here comes Trey Shadid and Andre Castro back on him as they go towards turn number 1.
Careful. They get tight through there. Castro starts moving up. Clindy gave him a little bit of extra room. Now Clindy go to the high side of Trey Shadid in the 3 and 4 side by side.
Still side by side as they come off of turn number 4 here. Trey Shadid backs out and he will slot in behind Kyle Clenworth. So move Clenworth up to P number 2.
This is good for Clindy because this minimizes the damage you saw in the points. Tanner Richards is second in the points. This minimizes the damage that Tanner could possibly put on Clindy with just 2 more races to go after this. So Clindy trying to maybe see if he has time to run down Richards, but Richards down the road by 3 seconds.
There was almost contact between Andre Castro and Trey Shadid as they came off of turn number 4 here. Trey Shadid will back out, and he will let Andre Castro slot in right behind Kyle Clenworth. But don't look now. Here comes another one in the mix. That is Tony Pizarro. Tony Pizarro is going to use as much of that run as he can behind Trey Shadid to try and get back up there and say, hey, guys, I want to have some fun, too.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of round 10 of 12 of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split, presented to you by Topia System, coming to you from HOMESTEAD Miami Speedway, where Tanner Richards has a 2.6-second lead with 9 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so don't miss out on the next race. Also, don't forget your commentary team by sending a donation via our GoFundMe campaign. The link is in the description. We certainly would appreciate it.
Now, going back to the topic of IAS for the Indy 500K, apparently it's going to be a bit of a pack racing fest. So that should be interesting. Which means we're definitely going to get a mix of exciting racing and probably a caution fest. But as I was talking about that, here comes Tony Pizarro. Now he is on the back of Trey Shadid as they go through as they come off of turn number 2 here, side by side, down the backstretch off of turn number 2. Pizarro, not enough of a run to get by Trey Shadid. He will slot him behind temporarily, but now he goes back to the bottom of the speedway as they come off of turn number 4 here, slides up hits up into Trey Shadid. Shadid had to back out of it. Still side by side as they go off towards turn number 1.
Don't look now. I think we're going to run out of time. Clindy has cut the lead to a 1.5 seconds. So that means he's within the draft envelope on the straightaways. And Tanner is marred in traffic at the moment.
Shadid tried to go underneath Tony Pizarro as they were going through 3 and 4. It was not enough. He had to slot back in behind Tony Pizarro. The car behind him, though, that is Chris Wetz. He is not for position, but he wants to get into the mix just for the fun of it here.
Caution in the car sideways, and that is Castro. He doesn't hit anything, but it brings us under caution, and we are going to get a sprint to the end here, and Tanner Richards, T-Rich, did not want to see this at all.
No, he didn't, but I'm looking at the replay here, and wow. That car just snapped around Andre Castro.
Here it is.
He was 2 times.
Yeah, and this is right where you talked about earlier in the race, Lewis, on the bottom of the racetrack, and you kind of get that low line off of 2, and the back end just comes around on you, and that's kind of looks like what happened there.
Yeah, he made it like 2 moves in the middle, losing, they put it back, and then lose it again.
He hit that seam right that separates the middle groove and the high.
That seam. Yeah, that seam is claims so many victims.
It's claimed so many victims, not just here in IndyCar, but also in the NASCAR iRacing series. I've seen it more times than not.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting, and I think that is Art Reimer right behind our leader. Art is the first car 1 lap down, but unfortunately, I think he's going to be cycled to the back. I think we're at that point in the race that all the leaders on the lead lap are going to be put directly in touch with one another on the restart here. So we might get 1 lap at green here. I believe. I don't think we're going to finish under caution with 3 to go right now. So they're going to come around with 2 to go, and then I think they will go green, white, and then checker. So we get a natural green, white checker here. But Richards has 28 lap-old tires. Clindy has slightly better tires, only 4 laps. But at this point, really, 4 laps different tires. Lewis, that's not much difference. I think it's going to be pretty much a straight-up battle here between who might be the better driver or who can get the better restart here, Lewis, on this restart.
I think Tanner have a more chance to go away. Maybe need to one lap. He can go away. Clendy, he need to be careful of Pizarro because now, actually, Art's gonna be back actually, so everything's gonna be close. So if I reach her, I do the IRL restart, leave the pace car out away, and just keep pushing when a pace car is coming in and catch Clendy deep up there. But you know, Clendy is really smart at that, and he knows could be. That is the best way. So
how would you?
Is the main for Clendy.
How would you handle the restart if you're Clendy? Would you plant your nose right underneath the attenuator of Richards and just say, I'm going to be as close as possible, and the second I see you inch away, I'm on it?
Oh man, it's difficult because if you third, like a Pizarro is there, it's easy to catch the second one and going more faster to catch the first one. But to be in back on the Richard is hard to predict because, like I said, I can do that to going more fast to have the chance, but could be waited for like he's doing now. Richard actually, Richard's doing that. It's waited.
Oh, look at him! He's falling back from the the pace car a little bit. And Clindy closes the gap, and here we go. What type of restart does Tanner do? Does he do an early one? Does he do a late one? And he goes early, and he goes to the inside of the racetrack and starts the Serpent going into one. Green flag and a race, one-lap dash for all the marbles here at Homestead, Miami in the Indy Oval Series. Here we go. Run down the backstretch. Clindy's going to have a big run.
Nice start on the Clindy.
Goes to the inside, and I think Tanner didn't expect him there. Tanner's going to stay up top. They're going to nudge each other up to the wall. Clindy's going to come to the line, and I think Clindy's going to steal it, and he does.
Clindy hit the apron. That's why he went to Richard.
Oh.
That is worth watching again. And let's go back just a little bit before this. And let's watch the replay in full speed here. And so Richards goes to the inside. And he gives himself, he wants to give an arc in. Clindy goes to the bottom. I don't think Clindy got the apron there. Oh, he touches the white line and wiggles a little bit. I don't know if he grabbed the apron, though. And Tanner not happy at the finish, I'm guessing.
No, he was not.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, slight netcode contact as they were going through turn 4 there.
All right. Wow. Can't wait for the interviews on this one. But let's get in tonight's final standings here at Homestead Miami Speedway. And here we go.
Who says you can't have exciting racing on a mile-and-a-half track in IndyCar?
Well, it used to be the norm back in the day, but anymore they don't want to do pack racing. But it shows these cars are pretty versatile. Clindy gets the win here in a stretch run for the championship, and this is going to pay him very well. And frankly, might have just clinched him the championship. Not mathematically, but just, all things considered, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for anybody to try to chase him down at this point. But we'll see a little bit later when the points are shaken out here. Tanner not happy with that late caution, and definitely how this race finished. I'm sure he comes home second, but really dominated this day. Tony Pizarro comes home third. Tony really had to kind of follow Clindy up through the field. Clindy 7 spots improved, but Pizarro 6 spots improved. So they started pretty much next to each other on the racetrack. Trace it in 4th, Ty Quilla 5th, Rusty Plant. He was one of your big gainers, Lewis. He finished 7 spots better, came home 6th. Seb Alexander in 7th. Matthew Ponto in the Miller All-American in 8th. Castro in 9th. But Castro was in the top 5 for pretty much the entire race, so that's not the finish he was looking for. Logan Edwards in 10th. McWhirter, Ward, Estrada, Lee, Fraporta, your top 15. Collins, Reimer, Wetz, and Pizarro round out the remainder of the 19-car field here. Not a big field, but an exciting race.
Just goes to show you that anything can happen here in IndyCar. Also, can we please bring this back to the actual IndyCar schedule?
I would love to see it come back here, but I think it might be a NASCAR thing preventing them from coming back. I think. I think. So shame on you, NASCAR. Let's get into the... I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to trash talk NASCAR. I'm not. I hate NASCAR so much. It cost me a broadcasting gig with a client. I hate NASCAR that much. But we love the AMA. We'll say that. We love the AMA League. Those guys are cool. All right. And let's get in some replays here and get into the interview room. Who finished third here? It was Tony Pizarro. So we will be talking hopefully with him first. We just missed him last week, I think. So we owe him a little bit of TV time or interview time here.
The problem is I tried to find a Pizarro last time and I couldn't. Even in Lionheart in the community, I don't know what is the name on Pizarro in the Discord or something like that, but I cannot find it.
I think he's
not gonna be around.
I think there's a points there as that's not the updated points. I think he did join the Discord. I think he did. I could be wrong. No, I don't see him. But he did join last week. I did see him join last week, so...
It was last week?
Yeah, Tony Pizarro is here. So, Tony, if you're here listening, you could pop in. We owe you 2 interviews at the very least. We know we're probably not going to see Tanner, unfortunately. And that's too bad. But... everybody needs a little time to unwind, so we'll go ahead and bring up our winner, Clindy. And here he is, Kyle Clinworth. Let's talk about the last lap, but really, it looked pretty bleak there for a while. You kind of came out of the pits after that pits stint that you did. Kind of came out, 4th or 5th, then you had to pass 2 guys. You were kind of gaining on Tanner there in that last stint, but the caution came out, allowed you to get really close, and then it was a sprint to the end there. I'm guessing Tanner wasn't very happy with the finish, but from your side of things, how were things on that finish? And describe in your words.
Sure. So I think I was going to win that race no matter what happened. I had my buddy Jacob right in front of Tanner, feeding him dirty air and getting his tires hot. I chopped it down from 2.8 to like 1.4 or 1.3 seconds in a matter of like 3 laps. All Jacob had to do was kind of mirror drive Tanner from, a second ahead, and he was going to not have clean air, and my tires were 6 or 7 laps better. I was really just going to chop away at it 2 to 3 tenths a lap, and I was probably going to catch him with 2 to go. Whether or not I passed him then, I don't know. But when that yellow came out, I knew that Tanner was going to try to, defend really aggressively and that I was going to have a big run down the back. And I did what he did to me at Charlotte, right? I just took the bottom when he tried to open up the corner. So I Tannered Tanner. And at Homestead, when you come in with a pinched entry to turn 3, you slide up a little bit through 4. I know that I could have lifted to wrap the white line a little better, but I'm not going to lift coming to the checkered flag. I knew Tanner was going to have a better run on the outside, so I could have given a little more room. He could have given a little more room. I understand where the contact happened, and I understand why the contact happened. It's probably a 60-40 deal, 60 on me, 40 on him. But, when you're coming to the checkered flag and when this win secures or very likely secures the fixed oval championship for me, I don't care if that's my mom, my sister, my brother, my wife, anybody, right? I'm gonna check. Check them coming to the checkered flag. They asked Rico Abreu that before the high limit race. Like, would you dump your significant other to win the race? You got to do it every time, right? So it doesn't matter how much you like the guy, how much you respect the guy. To win a championship, let alone my first Tuesday night top split race. It's not on a plate track. I have to do whatever it takes to win.
Well, what was that quote that was said in the NASCAR Xfinity Series? I'm not lifting until I see God or the checkered flag. In this case, I'm not lifting until I send it, and I hope to God it's 6, or I see.
I'm not lifting until I have that fixed oval championship in my name, brother. So I think that whole last run, I didn't lift a single time. I was full bore, and I got the 5 laps of fuel call coming out of 4 with 5 to, or coming to 5 to go. So I knew I was going to have to draft or run the bottom a couple times just to save that 300 feet of fuel. Otherwise, I was going to run out. So that also might have been interesting had it gone green, but that was not how it played out. So.
Well, you got the win in a very critical time in the championship. It looked like Tanner was kind of closing a little bit there in the points. He really dominated this day, but you got the win with 3 to go. How are you feeling over these next 2 races?
Auto Club's the only one that matters. My drops are really, really good, so I can replace one of my good weeks. I think all of my weeks are now over 200 points. I can replace one of those with a very good finish at Auto Club, but I had a great finish at Indy. I had a great finish at Michigan. So I capitalized on the high points weeks, and there's one more. It's Auto Club, right? So as long as I can get in there and maybe even top 5 is all I really need to do next week. But it will be the last and most critical race of the championship. But I've got a whole body of work that allows me to not have to go in that week and win, right? So if Tanner or maybe Dave Mitchell or Adriano win next week, I might have to start at New Hampshire to try to put down a better week and prevent them from winning. But I just don't see the strength of field at New Hampshire being strong enough to prevent me or to have anyone close the gap. I think I had a 151 point lead over Tanner, and that's just going to grow after this race because I'm going to replace Iowa with this. And, I finished with 180 points there, so now all my weeks are over 200. So I will have a very big leg up going into probably the last big points week of the season.
Well, I just
saw. So you are basically an 151% win the championship. Actually, to be honest, let's put it on the table. It's gonna be like that because next week it just finish the race on 5th, 10 or whatever, and then New Hampshire nobody's gonna race. Maybe it's gonna be 3K, 4K, that, and then that's it. So that's I thinking about it. Thanks today when I won today, I think so. Like we say in Spanish, we say the meat is ready cooked.
Yeah, the meat's, it's well done. All of my competition, hopefully.
Well, before we let you go, we just saw we got Tony in here as well. We're going to interview him for the first time. But any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors for you here on this big win here at Homestead, Miami?
Yeah, first and foremost, shout-outs to the competitors who I got to share a podium with today, Tanner and Tony. Shout-out to Trace for having a really good run tonight, really solid run. And Ty had a good job. All my road racing teammates, they could have done better today, but Ty did well tonight, and he doesn't like to place very much, so he learned a little bit in the boot camp he did with Rusty last night at Rusty Plant. So shout out to everyone on the Votive Racing team. Shout out to the Votive Racing League. We're going to be starting back up with the Indy Derby on June 8th. It's free to enter, pays to win. Shout out to Topia Systems, our pre-made PC part solution partner that brings you the Tuesday night top split and is an official sponsor of Rogue Racing. And thanks to Segerman Farms, the best corn on the planet is grown. And thanks to all my family in Central Illinois and all my friends in Central Illinois who I'm seeing this week, eating that delicious sweet corn. It's not quite ready yet, but I'm here in Illinois and I'm going to be going to the Indy 500 this weekend. So shout out to Chris Albrecht who sold me one of his tickets. So I'll see him on Sunday, and I'll see my teammate Tony on Sunday, and maybe Mason Mitchum and a whole bunch of other members of the community. So if you're going to the 500 and you want to see me, shoot me a DM and we'll team up and have a good time.
Congratulations on the win. We will catch you in a week as we get closer to closing out this first championship of yours. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gary. See you later.
Now, also in the booth with us is normally we wait to bring him up, but he just went ahead and just barged right in because we owe him 2 interviews. We interviewed him last week, and he finished on the podium this week. It's Tony Mazzara. First of all, man, welcome to the broadcast. Good to finally have you here. P3 here today in the Tide Ride, looking pretty good out there. Talk about your race.
That was pretty good. I've qualified 11th, and I just tried to follow Kyle through. He made a good 3-wide move on the top on lap 3, and he was already up to 4th by the time I passed my first car, so I was just catching him the whole time. I had a good race with Tequila and Andre. I wouldn't have gotten 3rd if Andre didn't strapped with me for the last 10 laps of the fuel run, so that really helped. I was surprised that Tanner, when he pitted like 5 laps before I did, and he maintained his pace even with the older tires. So he would have had the race won if it wasn't for the caution. So props to him. And I finally caught Kyle like 2 laps before the fuel run, and I think we came in about the same time, and he came out right ahead of me, and I couldn't catch him. So that won him the race. So props to Kyle and Tanner and all those guys. I feel bad for Josh because he was involved in a crash. He would have been probably top 4 too.
Coming out on those green flag pit stops, we talked a little bit about how difficult it is to hit pit road under green flag conditions here at Homestead. From a driver's point of view, kind of explain that for people that may not drive these very often, or just kind of watching how difficult it is to hit that pit road at speed, especially how flat it is. It's very slippery, and if you dip a wheel there into the grass, it's basically day done.
It's pretty hard, but you look at the mark in the wall and you practice that for a little bit. Like, I wait for the Homestead Miami logo to pop up, then I wait 2 seconds and then brake. But if you lock it up, you might miss it. And if you don't hit the brake hard enough, you might roll into the track and cause a big caution. So it is hard. But I've done it for like 8 years, and it's not as hard as it used to be. But I do hate those access roads. Get rid of that.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, it also sounds like you're the type of guy, and there's a lot of other drivers that just don't do this, but at least once or twice during practice, you're going to at least practice a green flag pit stop, and those type of things pay off and eventually pay off with podiums. So congratulations on the podium. It's the first time we got you here, and we should have had you here last week when we missed you. So I'll give you a little extra time with the microphone. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors? You've been on these broadcasts forever. It's finally glad to have you here, and go ahead and shout out all the people you want to say hi to.
I want to say hi to John Batista, Alex Krapser, Dalton Lucas, Timothy McDonald, Johnny Reed Foley, Logan Sheets, David Rattler, David Courtney. That's it. Just guys that helped me along the way as I raced.
Well, he had the list ready. You got to give him credit. He was prepared. Well, congratulations on the P3 today. And, man, we hope we see more of you in the future.
Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Zach Michael. He's a crew member for Front Row Motorsports. So hope he wins 10 races this year at least.
Well, shout out to him as well. Well, congratulations on the P3, and we'll catch you. I know you'll be next week in the lineup at Fontana. I know that you are very good there in those draft pack races, so we will see you in a week, hopefully, when we go to Auto Club.
I'll be there. Thank you, guys.
He's like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. Well, guys, any final thoughts here, starting with you, JP? Bit of a saucy ending to a race that was kind of by the book for a while, and then lo and behold, late caution, and it becomes exciting.
Yeah, that's I don't know how to describe the ending. The ending, except beef. Just beef. But other than that, that was it was kind of by the book. I was wondering if we would get a caution, and lo and behold, what happened with Andre Castro? Just the rear end getting into a snap oversteer, and around she went on him. Those seams, though, if you hit it just the sweet spot in terms of the wrong way, 9 times out of 10 it will snap around on you. Was the case here. Auto Club, it's going to be. I don't know how to describe Auto Club right now. We might see the same thing, but with how bumpy it is, with the amount of unlimited seams that are on the track, as I would like to say,
yeah,
it's the old saying goes here, as we say here in Vegas, it's just going to be a roll the dice, and we're going to see what happens.
Lewis, I guess the word of the night is beef. I guess there's beef on the racetrack, and then I guess beef is done on this championship almost for Clindy.
Yeah, it's something you're seeing the schedule and something you see, and the only points, maximum point you can put it in the next week is 250 maybe, because it's gonna be over 5K. Who knows?
Yeah.
On Fontana, and then it's coming Milwaukee. New Hampshire, and New Hampshire is like has happened in that my time when I fight it with Bennett. New Hampshire, nobody went. It's just 3K, 3 point something K straight field that day, and then the other one was 1.8, 2.0, and blah blah blah. So there's no points around. It's just the week to just stay relaxed and just make around the track. So it's that is I said in Indianapolis, because who knows what will happen in Indianapolis, and that because they have a good field over there. I said in Charlotte, I think so. I said in Charlotte about that. Iowa, well, thank God it wasn't the championship points in Iowa for Clendy, but it's not really big lose for him. So like I said, it's the beef is ready cooked for him. It just need to sit and eat it the championship for him. It was spicy. It's like the sauce I tasted today in the kitchen. It was super spicy, and we serve it like that. It's like I tasted like what is this? It's really spicy, and it's kind of like this. That's happened today. So it was a good race. I say it's pack race, but it really like it's night, could be happen, but no. Miami's never gonna be like that. It's gonna be like a difference between two cars, and the other one maybe it's gonna be close, but that's what we saw in between Pizarro, Richard, and Castro. Well, Castro lose the back and went to 9th on the back, but it was a good race actually, really good race. And Clendy just is going for Fontana to proclaim the basically the champion. I know Championship Tuesday on New Hampshire, but I think so it's gonna be the day for Clendy. So see you Thursday, the throwback on Milwaukee in IRN, and see you next Tuesday on Fontana.
All right, so that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Homestead Miami Speedway. Clendy with the drive from behind to get to the win here with 2 more rounds to go after this to close out his championship and make the odds a little bit greater. He gets the win tonight. Tanner Richards not happy, but in second, and Tony Pizarro with the second straight podium here. And finally get the chance to speak with him and welcome him to the broadcast. He comes home third tonight. Join us again next week for round 11, week 11 of season 2 of 2025 of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split presented by Topia Systems as the teams and drivers head to SoCal for our last crown jewel of the season at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. Coverage begins around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And as always, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but not easy. We require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday Night Top Split, audio errors and all, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We do realize times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and make us part of your Tuesday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of other P1 iRacing programming, including 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday afternoon. The Saturday before the big Indy 500 for real. We're going to race them at Indianapolis virtually for the Indianapolis round of the IIS for the Indy 500K. It's our last big race before the big race itself, so don't miss it. Promotional consideration paid for by the following Topia Systems. Topia is presenting sponsor of the Tuesday Night Top Split here on P1. Topia is where quality and affordability go full throttle. From custom rigs to powerful pre-builds, Topia delivers top-tier performance without all the sticker shock. Built right, price right, game on. To learn more about Topia, Click on their links in the description. Simrat Market, they're your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. They also offer high-quality track cam packs to give your streams and replays that polished cinematic look. Visit simratmarkettoday.com, simratmarket.com today. Download, customize, and race. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cans. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. You can check all those links out in the description. So, for Justin Petschauer, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, everyone here at P1 and Topia Systems, I'm Gary Gatto saying all good night and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Auto Club in Fontana for the next race of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split presented by Topia Systems. Good night and enjoy the Indy 500 this weekend.